This episode of Sundown After Dark is brought to you by Woofers Etc. Next time you go to purchase some Sundown equipment, check out Woofers Etc. That's woofersetc.com. Woofers Etc. has been with us since the beginning. They were our first online store, and actually they're one of the oldest online retailers of car audio in the industry. Check them out, guys. Make sure you use promo code SWAG, it's SWAG, to get you some free promo gear anytime you order some Sundown equipment. That's SWAG, SWAG, next time you make your Sundown purchase there at Woofers Etc. Again, woofersetc.com. Next time you go to purchase your Sundown equipment, use promo code SWAG. Get you some free shit. Also, I want to let everybody know, t-shirts are on sale finally. We've got DVS Designs making our shirts for us. That's DVS, the letters, Designs. You can search for them on Facebook. Best way to make your purchase is to go on the Sundown After Dark Facebook page and click Shop Now. There's a little button there. You click it and it goes directly to your shirt purchase. I think the shirts are $20 and it helps support our podcast and also helps support a local business. So we appreciate your sales as well, and I really hope you guys enjoy the t-shirts. And thank you very much for supporting Sundown After Dark, your favorite podcast.
Sundown After Dark with your host Bryan Chamberlain, presented by Sundown Audio.
And I am your host, Bryan Chamberlain, and I am here today with some very special guests. Let's take a look at the whole crew with us today. We've got Wes Strickland, who Wes is becoming a dealer. He's actually one of our team guys, and he brought along with him his grandchildren today, who are the loudest children in the world. Is that right, guys? And what's your names?
Madison
and... Say it. What's your name?
My ears, Sissy.
Hey, grab that mic and bring it a little closer to him. That way, if he does say something, we pick it up. All right, and with them today is also their father, Bud, and grandmother, Tina. And so they were coming by this weekend. They were in the area. We figured we'd do a little podcast and kind of show them off and see what these kids are doing. Guys, these kids are louder than pretty much most of the people competing these days. It's pretty wild with the numbers that they're pulling out. So let's talk a little bit about that. So, Maddie, we're going to start with you. How about that? That sound good? All right. You got to say stuff. You got to talk into the microphone. The people have to hear you.
You say okay.
Okay.
So Maddie, how old are you now?
7.
7 years old. And how old were you when you started competing? Do you know? Do you remember?
4.
4 years old. So that's 3 years of competing. And guys, they compete mostly in what, Mecca Kids? Is that where everything started?
Yeah, they started Mecca Kids, and recently we picked up NSPL, and NSPL has a kids class too.
Awesome.
Actually, this year they have 3, so it's going to be interesting.
Is was it Iasca, Usaki, or any of them doing it at all yet?
I think that ISPL has
Here
one,
comes popping in Mr. Fuller.
possibly Usaki, but I'm not 100% on that.
All right. So Jake, we'll get you a seat here shortly, okay?
Sure.
You can just hang out for a little bit. Jake brought his son with him too.
Yeah.
So we are recording at the moment, but anyway, so Maddie, you started at the age of 4, and I believe Parker, what year did you, or how old were you when you started? 4 years old too? Got to bring that mic up to him. Hey, see? Yeah, there you go. He just likes hearing himself on the microphone.
Yeah.
In the headphones. So anyway, Maddie, I've known you for a while now, ever since you started, and you just keep getting better and better. Thanks. He just loves the headphones. Oh, I could try to be serious here, but we don't have to be serious. But anyway, Maddie, I jotted down some stuff here, and actually, Wes, I kind of want you to kind of go over the numbers that we're talking about here, because guys, we're talking about some big numbers that these kids are being able to pull off with their Power Wheels vehicles, and most people can't even get this in an actual vehicle. So we're talking about open air environment, which is pretty wild. Here, I'm gonna give these back to you. Let's talk about some of those classes. He just likes hearing himself.
He's just being silly at this point.
Yeah. Oh, how about we do this? While you guys are talking, we'll show everybody the pictures of these guys. Let's see. Do I have this on a slideshow? I don't think I do. Let's do a slideshow. Bam. There we go. So this one is a picture of Parker. It's gonna keep rolling through the kids. So you guys can look at that while Mr. West over here is talking about what kind of numbers these kids are being able to do with their vehicles. Let's talk Maddie first.
Okay. Well, as of now, her high score would be in MECA, being as MECA meters on the passenger side of the vehicle where the port is. Of course, we're required to stay away from the port, but a 55.6 would be her highest in an SPL, and in that class. And then
people struggle to hit a 40 sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So 55, 155.
Yeah, she started out in the 40s, so this was a progression. I mean, we didn't just kind of throw it together and there it was. It was we kind of started small.
Every year gets bigger and badder.
Worked up.
Because now there's more. I've noticed throughout the years. Because Mecha Kids, or just the kids classes in general, was big at one point, and it kind of died off. And I'm noticing now we're getting more kids involved again in the scene, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, it in the last few years it's exploded. There he goes again. At any rate, they also compete in what they call Park and Pound, which is another format, MECA format that they have for the kids.
And that's where the microphone's outside?
Yes.
Well outside?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they meter at 3 foot from the actual Power Wheels. And best we can remember, we think it may have been a 126, but we're going to say a 125.7. And that's metering 3 foot from the actual Power Wheels.
Right. Around what frequencies do these vehicles normally peak? I would assume probably in the 40s, 50s.
We're right now. I think we're doing Maddie's in the upper 50s. We probably started out in the lower, but I think
she's 49, 50.
Yeah, or upper 40s. I'm sorry, did I say 50s?
Yep.
Yeah, upper 40s, close to 50. And that seems to be, pretty much where it's at.
You know what I meant to do? I totally forgot. Remember that 8-inch woofer I built you guys?
Yes.
It was an X8. I put a Neo pole cap in the middle of it.
I still have that. That
thing was probably the craziest 8-inch woofer ever created to this day, I would assume.
Yes.
And you guys didn't blow it.
No.
We actually originally built it for somebody else. Jake, you might remember this. I think we built it for Sean because he was trying to replicate his old 8-inch numbers. But anyway, when we built that for you guys, you hit some pretty wild numbers with it. When you had a single 8 in that vehicle at one point.
Yeah, single 8. We were doing probably close to 50.
Yeah, it was right at 50.
Right at a 50 with just a single 8.
Yeah, that had multiple layers of spider in that thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the coil was super tight to the gap.
That was a dual one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a dual 1 coil. I think we did, right?
Yes,
So
it
an amp and a
was
half.
a dual 1. Did really well. SPL Park and Pound. We also do doing demos. In that class, it was a little chattery, but we got by with it.
You just want to Parker just
stop.
hey Parker, do you want to say anything while you're smiling? Look at this, look at the gleam he's got. So Maddie, let's keep talking about you for a minute. So I also saw, are a cheerleader. So you cheer for who?
The Junior Vikings.
And who plays for them?
Parker.
Oh, man. Parker, what do? You play football.
Tell them about football, buddy.
You got a touchdown, Parker?
Parker, tell them about the where we passed earlier, where you had your touchdown.
Your first touchdown.
So we were coming over this way, and one of the places that he played was on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them where you had that touchdown at. It was in the where? Where was it?
You got to talk to the mic.
You got to talk into the mic, buddy.
Can't hear you.
Bulldogs.
Is that the Bulldogs?
I thought you said Boo Dunks.
He said it was he had a touchdown in the end zone. Remember that?
Nice. Well, good job, Parker. I hope you keep doing that. So do you like playing football?
You got talk.
Yeah.
And Maddie, do you like cheerleading?
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's great to see the two of you on the same team doing your thing, and you're helping, you're rooting for each other, and it's awesome. So you guys go to the same school, right?
Yeah.
And you were 7, Maddie and Parker. How old is Parker?
How old are you, Parker?
5.
Yeah.
So are you Are you in kindergarten right now?
3K.
Oh crap! And then you do kindergarten next year.
First grade.
First grade.
You go to kindergarten.
I get. So is the football in their school, or is it separate from the school?
It's a separate organization.
Okay. I wasn't sure how that worked. Some of them, they do it in a school. Like my children, their elementary school has football, but I think it's mixed in with a bunch of other elementary schools because a lot of kids don't do it in elementary school. So, but how did your team do this year?
Good.
Yeah? Did you guys win everything?
Yeah.
It's all because of you,
A
right?
riddle.
You got a medal?
No. A riddle.
Tell me you lost
a
2
little.
games.
2 games.
All
Finished
right.
second.
Second.
Tell him about riding that big bus.
You get to ride a big bus.
Yeah.
Like the college football player.
Well, that's cool. Hey, let me get that back from you if you don't mind, that
Yeah,
notepad
absolutely.
there. So let's see what we got. So we talked. Did we talk about all the classes that she's doing? So anyway, just looking at what Wes wrote down here. So we've got Mecca for Maddie is 155.6. For Park and Pound is 125.7, as I believe is it. And then NSPL is 152.6. SPL, and then the Eliminator is 151. Those are all just wild numbers coming from a Power Wheels vehicle. So when you guys do the Power Wheels, when are you allowed to hover over it? Because you guys kind of create an enclosure, I've noticed. With how many people are you allowed? Two people to hover over the top of the.
We can actually as many people as it takes, but SPL you can hover over it.
Right.
The other classes we have to stay away from.
Yeah,
it.
basically the meter is inside the vehicle,
Yes.
and you guys are creating an enclosure trying
Parker,
to
stop.
keep all the sound
You
in.
stop. I'm not the one that's laughing. Yes, you is.
This is great. And let's see, Parker, he
You
did.
started it.
Sounds like a normal show.
Yeah, this is normal for us. Usually there's other bits of swarping going on. That's what we call it, swarping.
Swarping.
Yep. Jake's got a whole thing about the swarping. So Parker, he was hitting 153.9 in Mecca, and then 124 in the Park and Pound. And then NSPL, he hit 150.8 and 148. And again, insane numbers coming out of a little Power Wheels vehicle. They are the loudest children in the world, plain and simple. Congratulations, guys. And that's using what products?
Sundown.
All right. Now we did build their stuff a little special, so to speak, to make things work, for their basically to work with the power they have and to get the
Absolutely.
most out of it. But that's what we do for our team members, People that are on the team, we use them basically as guinea pigs to see what works and what doesn't work, and they tell us what they need, and we try to do our best to make it work for them. So, but anyway,
I think he should be your co-host from now on.
he should.
Yeah.
He's a whole lot better than I am. All right, and Wes, we're gonna get more into you after the break. And Jake, we have a bunch of questions. When after the break, we'll have Jake switch seats. We do have a bunch of questions that people did. I don't know what kind of how much time you have while you're here, but yeah. But anyway, I just really wanted to show the people that there are organizations for the kids, and you can get your families involved, and you can start as early as they can drive a Power Wheels vehicle, because essentially the child has to drive the vehicle to the meter, and then the parent, grandparent, guardian, whoever it is, helps the child basically get things going. I believe they have to hold the device, right, and turn the knob.
Yeah, they actually have to operate the source.
Right.
So they have to. Well, MK1 they have to drive it in. MK2 because of the box and how big that it may be. They can actually just push it in or manually get it in there somehow or another. But
Well, the box on both of their vehicles is definitely heavier than the vehicle itself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that thing teeter-totter a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
guys,
I tried to build them where they could at least somewhat drive them in.
he's just having a good old time. We're just gonna do a camera just on him for the whole thing. You having a good time now, Parker?
That's entertainment in itself.
You got your chocolate milk over there? All right. So I asked the kids what they wanted to drink, and Parker said chocolate milk, and then Maddie said Mountain Dew. So they're all right. We can make that happen. So let's go ahead and go to a break real quick and gather our thoughts and do some things here, and we'll come back here shortly.
Are you sick and tired of playing sloppy edits with squared off sine waves? Want a moment of clarity? Then sit back and relax and experience what it's like to get rustified. When it comes to transforming new hits and old classics into the best street bangers, ain't nobody got the sweet sounds of the 808s like Russ. With frequencies ranging from spleen-busting high-end to digging all the way down low into the subsonic abyss, Russticals has what you need. Sundown After Dark has teamed up to give you an exclusive offer to save big on his iconic sound. So pull out your mobiles and browse your way over to www.djrusticals.com and pick up your preloaded DJ Rusticals Fire Stick USB today. Go ahead and save 10%. Use promo code After Dark. That's www.djrusticals.com and use promo code After Dark at checkout.
We're back and we're recording now. All right, so this segment we're going to talk a little more about Wes, what he's up to. So Wes, you've been at you've been with Sundown for a while. However, you started off with Directronics back when I was running Directronics, and we had a whole team thing going there. I guess you can call it a team. Just helped you out as much as I could, and then sold Directronics, and we brought you on as a team member, an actual Sundown Audio team member, and same with the children. And then starting this year, 2019, we're actually going to bring your shop on as an actual dealer for Sundown Audio. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So anybody in the Bristol, Tennessee area, or that section of Tennessee, I guess you could say the eastern side of Tennessee, or parts of Virginia because they're so damn close to it.
Correct.
You can go see Mr. West here. It's called what?
It's going to be American Audio.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't actually completely 100% up and going yet. I mean,
you've got your building.
Yeah, we've got the building, we've got the shop, we've got things going on. We're still kind of buttoning up all the details, but definitely in the next couple of months we'll be open and ready to go 100%.
So it'll be an appliance store and car audio store.
Right. Yeah. One half the building is appliances, and the other half is audio, and so just kind of venturing out, trying to do something that I always wanted to do from the time I was a kid, pretty much. Pretty much.
I hear you. I've always wanted to open up a shop, and I've worked at plenty of shops, throughout my life, but I've never actually opened one myself, and it's a risk, especially this day and age with the internet. It's a bit of a risk.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
But I would assume that you're probably going to cater more towards higher end builds, people that want to compete.
Correct.
Yeah, because that's where your knowledge is. That and
What-
appliances. Guys, anytime that I have an appliance problem now, I call Wes. How many times have I called you about my dishwasher? Or?
Not too many. A few. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't
I
mind at
used
all.
to sell. Actually, it was one of my first jobs. I used to sell appliances, so I don't mind fixing them. I actually enjoy fixing appliances. It's just that if I get stumped, I got somebody to call now. Instead of just watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, you can find anything on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
It'll tell you just exactly what to do.
So we got your shop opening up, and that's awesome. And then we've got, just so anybody else is aware, on the, I guess it's further south would be Greg Kelly's shop. It's Kelly's Garage.
Yes, he's in Newport,
Mhm.
which is about an hour and 15 minutes due west of me,
Oh,
or
west, okay.
southwest.
Yep.
So he's going to kind of probably more cater to, say, Knoxville area towards east,
Gotcha.
western Tennessee.
So our Tennessee market on the eastern side is pretty taken care of, and then on the western side, out towards Nashville, we've got Mega Sound. Mega Sound's actually one of our biggest dealers. They handle pretty much all of Nashville for us, and they're really cool people over there. So Tennessee, for the most part, we've got taken care of now, thankfully.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about your build and what you're doing. I know you had some questions for Jake. I guess we can talk about where you're at, what you're doing now, and what you plan on doing, because you got a whole new build you're working on now.
Yeah, I've got a new build. We're going to retire Little Red probably for a year or two
Okay.
and jump out and try to do something a little bigger.
Little Red was a ported wall, right?
Yeah, it started out as a fourth. The last couple of years it's been a ported wall. 415s and a ported wall
Change.
on 47500s. Plan is to jump into a Astro van and go back to the fourth order and a lot more subs and a lot more power.
Are you going to tell the people who you got that van from?
Yeah, it's Devin Crawford's old van, so it's already a proven van pretty much.
Yeah. That was one of Jake's. I remember Jake years ago talking about that van. Right, Jake?
Well, every build Devin's had, I sat in it, and like his old Jeep too, which played like 58 hertz or something, just put a hurting on me. The van was the same way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is definitely a
That
monster.
had, what, like 12
12
12s in it?
ZV312s was in the Jeep. That was pretty stupid. And then the van was the same way. We custom built all his subs for a higher frequency as well.
Yeah. Devin's always working on stuff, so he's got something else he's working on now.
Yes, he's got another one coming.
Is this the black van that he's been using for the past couple of years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool build.
We're
And-
going to change it up some. Not a
So
whole
are
lot.
you tearing the wall out, and are you going to do the same thing he was doing, or what are you planning on doing with that?
Well, probably going to leave the fourth in it. It's in there and it's in pretty good shape. We may mess with the loading wall and change some things about that based on just what I'm going to do this year. I want to go do more of a musical thing.
Mm-hmm.
SPL just be like a side product.
Okay, so you want to do more of a demo build with it?
Well, but no, I want to basically get into park and pound,
Musical classes.
like musical classes.
Okay, I got you.
Maybe some bass boxing or bass race this year, that kind of thing. So,
Okay.
Cool.
And so are you going to keep it with 12s, or are you going to go 15s? Like you've been using 15s and 18s for a while
It'll
now.
be 15s. It'll be 12 15s.
God, that's a
Yeah.
lot of cone area.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's going to be something I'm not used to because having a bunch of power on a little bit of subs. So now I'm going to have a lot of subs and a lot of power. So
yeah.
maybe I can distribute some of that heat and not have so many failures like I have in the past.
Right. And so the last time in Little Red, you were running ZV3s with ZV3 parts for the most part, except for the coil and spider.
Yeah, we run a NSV2 coil and an NSV3 spider for the most part. This last time I think we used the ZV4 spider.
Yeah, the old yellow spider. Which did you gain using that spider?
Didn't really seem to make much difference, but that set actually lasted longer than any of them for some reason. I don't know if I just got a little more seasoned and kind of knew, where
When
my
to back
limits
off.
were. Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And I think Wes had a question for you, Jake, about the coil.
Yep.
In a ZV3 motor, a lot of times people that do so-called SPL builds with them will have them use the NSV2 coil. Do you still think that would be best in his case?
Let's see. Let me think through my coil index here. It's going to be really close between that and the new ZV5 24 coil, which is pretty similar to the
8-layer, right?
It's pretty similar to NSV2 coil. The DCR is a little higher, which might be better if you're trying to wire down to like a quarter ohm or something like that.
Yeah, definitely want to wire down.
Yeah, so then you might want to go to the ZV5 24 coil. So the dual 1, instead of being like a 0.7, 0.8, is actually
It
1.
reads 1 ohm,
and the
yeah.
dual 2 is actually 2 instead of 1.8-ish on that coil.
Gotcha.
Easier to handle.
It also has it's also a little closer to the pole and a little farther away from the top plate, so a little more tolerant to like heat expansion and rocking and things like that.
Awesome.
Do you think we should switch him up to U series frame and cone, or do you think we should keep him with the ZV3 parts? Because just so you know,
I think the van already had the U series baskets in it.
Well, we used epoxy.
Or did it? No, that was Jerry's that did, and then Devon's had the 12 spoke. So let's see. Yeah, I would say so. The U series parts are a little stronger. The cone and surround.
Yeah, because we put epoxy in the back of his cones just to stiffen them up.
One of the bigger things, even in the cone, the U surround is a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker than the ZV3. So
cool.
if you're gonna, in a build like that, you might blow surrounds out. The U series surround is a little stronger.
So we'll definitely use U series parts.
Yep, that sounds great.
And we'll go with that bigger, badder coil.
We also get better venting because I can use my vent ring on that basket rather than the windows and the 12 spoke.
Yeah, we get the aluminum, the cast aluminum spacer that helps the heat wick into the frame better. Yeah. So
also, it's the directional cooling of the ring.
Yep.
Awesome.
So U
Sounds
series
great.
parts it is. That's what we're gonna do.
So now I know what I'm doing.
That was his main goal today, was to figure out what he's gonna do.
Bam.
So how?
Awesome.
Now, I guess we'll talk more about this later because, God, my brain just my brain just shuts down.
You were like that commercial or whatever, that 4 minutes where Shaq didn't move on Sports Center.
We'll call that just a Manchurian candidate moment.
That was really funny.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just gonna say, well, I guess we'll talk about after the show. We'll go ahead and invoice everything up and get it 100% for you before you leave.
Okay.
And get all that. I don't know if you wanted actual recone kits to do yourself or you wanted to bring your woofers here, but either way, we'll do that. And just so the folks know that are watching that don't know, we offer recone kits and we also offer the ability to recone your woofer. So even if it's an older Sundown woofer, in most cases we have the parts and we can do funny little things to make it work for you.
We can rebuild almost any woofer we've ever made. Not necessarily with original parts.
Right.
Like a ZV1, for example, we don't have any original parts for, but we can rebuild
better
it.
parts on
it.
it.
Yeah. The only subs that I can think of that we can't rebuild right now,
old
E8s.
E8s.
The E8 version 1 and version 2,
Mm-hmm.
and the SD1 version 1.
Oh, God, no. Yeah.
And SD1 version 2, actually. Those are both actually American made, and I don't have any of those parts.
Yeah,
that company went out of business.
Yeah, we're also running really low on like EV1, EV2.
Yeah.
10, 12, 15, all that. Yeah, over the years, we just have to phase things out, you know. And if you've got something that's really old and you desperately want us to rebuild it for you, we can find another way of building it in most cases.
Yeah, we can usually figure it out. Except for those SD1 series. There's nothing for those.
You know,
I would think that, honestly, it'd probably be better to have the newer version anyways because they have the improved stuff on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, some
time you
people
spend
have
the money to get that old one put together.
I guess you could say some
just
people
been better
have like
off
a
to-
sentimental value to an old woofer.
Yeah, we see that a lot.
And that's true.
Yeah.
What's really fun for me is on my 3-inch coil stuff, I've pretty much maintained continuous backward compatibility. So I'll have someone with like a Nightshade version 1 motor send it in. They'll get like the new 18-inch basket, mega roll surround, all that stuff, and it works. So that's really fun to me.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
What you doing over there, Maddie? Is the headphones bothering you? Yeah. You don't have to have them on. It's okay.
My hair's itching.
Oh,
I
man.
understand.
We'll have to cut it off. I got some scissors.
No, sir, Mr. Bryan.
Shave it off. Bzz. So, Jake, let's get to a couple questions that, well, this kind of rolls into actually kind of what we were talking about. So let's
do it.
Let's do this here. Oh, well, we'll talk about the show here later. So there's two people that asked a somewhat similar question. One is Sam Dunn. The other one is Josh Ernspiker.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, well, Josh's question is, here's a question for Jake. Are you or any future revisions or upgrades coming to the SA series woofers? And Sam also asks, which is a similar question, will the next revision of an SA woofer line be a Neo woofer?
Well, to answer Sam's question first, no. The price is just not right. The next version of the SD4, will be Neo, and that will actually, because that's actually kind of a sound quality woofer, even though it's our shallow, so I don't really mind putting a little bit of price into it. It'll probably end up costing more than the SA series at that point. But no, not Neo on the SA. As far as doing a revision of the SA at all, yes, I've been working on it for a long time, probably a year and a half-ish on this particular version. And I have a SA12 version 2 prototype that I really like. It will be a little more expensive, but it's a 1,000-watt rated SA.
So folks that don't know, Jake's been working on a so-called version 2 for the SA series for the longest time.
Yeah.
Still hasn't come out yet. Probably been working on it since I've worked here, which is going on 6 years now.
Yeah, I've done a lot of concepts, and like the SA Ultra was one of the concepts.
Essentially, it comes down to the SA series is so freaking good.
It's that good.
It's hard to beat it with the price.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yep.
Right.
So I have a lot of thoughts on that, and so the SA12 V2 that I have ready right now is actually better than the current SA, but it will be more expensive. It'll be a 1,000-watt driver. So then what my next phase after that would be, take the SA, move it up, like a TikTok approach. Boom, tick SA up, then I'll work on the E version 4, which will put it even closer to SA territory.
Yeah.
And then I'll take the LCS and move it up a notch probably after that.
They'll have to come out with an even cheaper woofer again.
Yeah.
So we don't just move forward all the times or up in power handling. We also move down sometimes too. Yeah, we brought on the LCS a couple of years ago just to kind of compete against the standard big box store woofers, and they're doing pretty good. Actually, they're doing very well considering.
It's the LCS is actually probably about 95% as good as the E version 2.
Yeah,
which is was a much more expensive woofer than the LCS. The LCS just strips out all cosmetics. It's just very plain looking, but it's quite good in performance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of always been how we've rolled over the years. Is, God, what was I going to say? My brain just went.
We don't do a lot of cosmetics, Bryan.
Yeah, there you go. See what happens? I'm up here. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at stuff, and I just go.
I do the same thing, so I can't say anything.
What would they going to say? Yes, we don't focus on cosmetics. Actually, just in the past couple of years, we've been trying to focus a little bit on cosmetics, just to kind of.
But not if it hurts performance.
Nope, performance over cosmetics. Let's take a question from Kendrell. As we all know, Kendrell loves to call here, and he has always got questions.
Oh yeah.
So let's see what Kendrell says.
What's up, guys? It's Kendrell from Wichita. I'm curious as to your thoughts on lithium batteries, because it seems like everybody's switching to them, but I've noticed none of your test benches have lithium, and a lot of bigger builds still use AGM. Is there a reason for that?
As far as our test benches, there's definitely a good reason for that. Like we don't care about weight or size,
pricing,
and we're just worried about price for that capacity. I mean, I really think lithium's kind of at least with currently available technologies, kind of the wave of the future for car audio.
Yeah,
because you have limited space, you don't want to have any more weight than necessary, so on and so forth.
How about you, Wes? In going in your build, why are you switching to lithium? Because I know that's something you're doing or have done.
Well, mostly for just capacity and weight savings.
Right. And I have personally, I have not weighed the price over capacitance or whatever you want to call it. What it is that you're getting. Because I know in general, lithium battery can be anywhere from 3 to 5 batteries worth of a battery.
There's a lot to it, and you have to read some stuff that Travis puts up or
Yeah.
Scotty, because it's not
So much
apples-
science.
Yeah, it's not apples to apples. There's like the C ratings and all that stuff, and I'm no battery expert,
Me
frankly.
neither.
But in some ways, like you could have a lithium bank that in some ways is better than the AGM bank, but in some ways is not as good. But it's going to be a tenth of the weight and
Yeah.
a tenth of the volume.
That plays a big
Yeah,
role.
so weight and volume it plays into my same philosophy of woofer design. I don't want your box to be any bigger than it needs to be because you only have so much space in a car.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with the lithium technology in my mind.
And over the years, it's going to get better and better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as far as C rating goes, you definitely get a lot more for your money in a lithium in a particular area or
Okay.
size. There's different makeups. You have LTO, you have LiFePO4, these new batteries everybody's using now, the C-Max. I'm not sure exactly what the makeup of them is,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of do-it-yourself ones out
No,
there.
Oh, goodness,
Devin
yeah.
was messing with lithium titanate, I believe, is what those weird packs he was doing.
That's
with.
exactly what I've got in Little Red.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and it's worked really well for us. So,
Good.
the one advantage to those, the only advantage that I could really see, because in the C rating may be a little bit more than the LiFePO4, but they seem to be a little more forgiving if you get them down below a certain voltage or you overcharge them a little bit,
Right.
just because of the chemical makeup.
think
But
the-
other than that,
One of the biggest
they're all
concerns.
equally good.
One of the biggest concerns that I have, well, and the public may have, is the way you have to charge them. You can't just use a standard charger, or if you do, you have to watch it.
Yes, that you
You
can't.
have to have a so-called smart charger for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't own one, and they're expensive.
Yes, they can be.
By the way, Jake, I think I need to borrow the one that's in your. You have one in your garage, right?
I actually own 2 smart chargers, so you can borrow one if you need.
I really need to, because I've got that one that I got from the Amp Lab, the Megalith.
Mhm.
It's been sitting in my office for over a year, and I haven't charged it or done anything with it.
I also have the actual excess power lithium charger too.
Yeah, that's kind of the one I was going
Yeah.
for. Yeah, I need to
Now-
borrow that.
Now we use with the Power Wheels, because they're limitless. We use the
Mhm.
limitless chargers, and they're not real expensive.
Right.
I mean, you can get there. What's the one we got? Is it the 10 amp hour
8 amp.
or 8 amp hour? What's it, about 150 bucks? 140, 50 bucks, something like that.
I think it's right at 100, I think.
Or is it 100? Okay. So it's not real expensive, and they have their own. You just hook it up, and when it's done, the light shows up green, and you're good to go. And that's what we use with the kids.
Nice.
Both of them, Maddie has a 40 amp hour, and Parker has a new 45 amp hour, and they both perform flawlessly. So-
Awesome. And they fit right in there. Is that like a motorcycle battery, or were you able to fit an actual size battery in there?
Actually, what I did on there is I took a battery case for like a 31 series battery, and made it into the front of each Power Wheel, so I could drop a 31 series. We started out with AGM
Right.
in the first builds, and then progressed to the lithium. But
I would say the AGM battery probably helped with the weight distribution.
it did, it did, because hers will do a wheelie pretty quick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You guys, well, she probably has. I've seen where you guys look back in Slam or here, even at our show, the wheels are kind of doing this. And
Oh, yeah.
just rocking.
Yeah, we've got casters on hers actually, because she has 3 amplifiers to go with everything else and all the Neo Pro mids and stuff that's on it. So there's a lot of weight there.
Once we get our small amp line up and running, it's going to be really awesome for these Power Wheels builds.
Yeah. Jake was telling me that earlier, and I think it's going to be definitely a plus for
Yep.
us.
So first things first, we got the 500 coming out, and again, folks, that'll be out later this month.
Yeah, anytime now.
We also coming along with those is the SAE 3000, so those will be back in stock here soon as well.
Pretty excited about that particular model.
Oh yeah, and I didn't ask you, Jake, and I haven't looked personally. SAE 3000 compared to SCV 3000, are we looking at a longer amp?
Off the top of my head, I
remember.
couldn't tell you exactly, but it's not much different.
So I know when we switched to the 2K SAE
Yeah.
model,
That
it
one
was
got
a
longer.
significant difference.
On the 3K, it's not much different.
Yeah, I had a few people ask that question, and I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's a minimal difference. I don't remember the exact off the top of my head though.
Yep. So let's talk about the show you guys coming up. I'm going to show the people here. Here we go. So, Wes, are you hosting the show, or are you kind of combination of people, or what's going on here?
It's a combination of some Team High Voltage members.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Greg Kelly, which is another one of your dealers,
Yep.
which is on the team, good friend of mine, and Stuart Ward, who is the owner or the creator of the team, so to speak, and then Josh Brooks. So kind of bouncing between the four of us. Devin's kind of in that too.
Yep.
But this show is going to be April the 6th. We'd like everybody to come out. We're going to have 5 organizations there.
Yeah, you've got all the big boy organizations coming in there.
There may be another one slides in there before before the dust settles, but should be a great show.
Oh, you're doing 3X and you got a 5X NSPL. Wow.
Yeah, Kenneth's going to come up, and we're going to have a 5X NSPL, and then we have the rest of them are going to be 2 or 3X. Some of those may go up as time goes on too.
You think Steve's going to come by since it's not too far?
I don't know if he'll be there or not.
That'd be nice.
I know Alan's the one that's going to be doing. Alan Schaefer will be doing the show for Mecca.
It'd be cool to see Steve. The only time I ever get to see him is Slamology, or if I ever go to finals, he's usually there. But I enjoy Steve. Remember last time you and I went up to Steve's trailer, Jake?
We got some whiskey.
Yeah. He's like, come on in, guys.
Yeah, there's always some whiskey at the trailer.
Yeah. I usually see Steve at CES, but I didn't run into him this year.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll put the invite out there.
So. Yeah, you tell him that the guys at Sundown want to go. And not to put you on the spot, Jake, but there goes our headphones again.
That's okay.
Wes was wanting to know if we can do some kind of a booth or something there. I guess we need to talk more about that.
Yeah.
So this show actually is a good chance it's going to end up getting big, and it's kind of going to maybe be the size of ours or get close to it. And so basically it's an invite for anybody who's interested in the southeast states or the mid-Atlantic to go check out this show, the Team High Voltage show. And what's the town that it's going to be in? Newport? Newport, Tennessee.
It's in Newport, Tennessee. So if anybody knows where Interstate 81 intersects with Interstate 40, you're pretty much right there.
Oh, right where it jumps in. Okay.
So it's a good location. You can hit 40, come into North Carolina, South Carolina, 40 back through Knoxville,
81
70
through
out.
Virginia.
Yeah, 81 through Virginia. So it's kind of a good spot for everybody to just come together
And
at.
that's April 6th, 2019. Gates open at 10 a.m. Do we have any prices? Let's see. Vehicles, $10 to enter. Spectators, $5.
Yep.
And you do motorcycles?
Yes. We're going to have Buddy Beckner with Stream Car Audio. He has several guys that do the bagger beats. Jeremy Creamer is going to be doing this show for DB Drag, and he brings that with him. The kids do that too, so that's a really cool.
Nice.
Thing
Speaking
that
of
they do.
motorcycles, there's a guy, I don't remember his name. He's on the eastern side of North Carolina who has one of the loudest bikes in the world, literally. And he contacted us to see about building him some subs. He had very constrained situations for his woofers, and he hasn't had a lot of luck, I guess you can say, or he wanted to try to get a bigger number. And they do like SQ and SPL testing on these bikes. Loudest, cleanest sounding bike apparently in the world.
Exactly.
So anyway, he contacted us. I personally built his woofers, not to gloat, but I personally built them to hopefully work perfectly in his situation. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping he makes it to our show in August, and I'm going to talk to him again, see if he can make it out to your show.
Absolutely. We'd love for him to be there.
That'll be awesome.
Yep.
So hopefully it all works. Guys, does anybody have anything else they want to talk about while you're here? No, yes, maybe. How about this? Can we get Parker back in here so we can all take a big picture? We got to do the final say bye to everybody picture. So everybody good?
There he is.
You guys, hey Parker, get close to your dad. We're all gonna look at the camera up here. All right, everybody. Say bye. You guys have a good night.
It's the loudest show around. Sundown After Dark with your host Bryan Chamberlain. Presented by Sundown Audio.